Xbox Live Gold adds more games. Square Enix and Microsoft is working on bringing games to Game Pass, and find out how you can play Google Stadia on your Xbox. Welcome everybody and thank you for joining me. So there is a couple of things to discuss today, so let's just start off with the free games that has been confirmed for April with Xbox Live Gold. Vikings Wolf of Midgard is an action role-playing game developed by Slovak studio Game Farms and published by Calypso Media. This game is set in the fantasy world inspired by Norse mythology. Truck Racing Championships is the only official simulation that features all of the unique characteristics of an ETRC and offers all racing fans a completely new driving experience. Race a giant 5-ton 1000 horsepower truck against 12 competitors while respecting the race rules to avoid penalties.
In the darkest corner of the globe, there exists a void.
Dark Void is a video game developed by Airtight Games using the Unreal Engine 3 and published by Capcom for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and Microsoft Windows. In this game, players must face the alien threat that humanity had previously banished. This game mixes on foot and mid-air combat. Hardcorp's Uprising is a run-and-gun video game developed by Arc System Networks and published by Konami for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Now it is available for the next generation to play as well. But moving on, now that we are on the topics of games, more games could be coming to Xbox Game Pass from Square Enix. Now I wanted to talk about this story because there is one game from Square Enix that I do believe we will see in the coming months. But before I do that, let's just go over exactly what is happening here. So GameRant did an article where they reported that Microsoft and Square Enix is teaming up to bring 6 games to Xbox Game Pass. This week Square Enix is adding Octopath Traveler to Xbox Game Pass, but that may just be the start of the plans. A new report indicates that Square Enix will follow up the addition of Octopath Travelers to the Xbox Game Pass by bringing several more games to the service. IGN Korea says that they have learned Square Enix will be releasing 6 more games in addition to Octopath Travelers on Xbox Game Pass. This follows an agreement between Square Enix and Microsoft with undisclosed details regarding the cost of the deal. Now for those who might not know, there have been a relationship between Xbox Game Pass and Square Enix for a while now, specifically when it comes to their Final Fantasy games. Now I do not know exactly what the 6-game deal with Square Enix is. It could be for old games, it could be for new games, but I have been hearing reports for months now that after the Final Fantasy VII Remake exclusivity deal with Sony expires, we will be seeing that game on Game Pass. Now this is a game that I have been excited to play for a while now, and I do believe it is one of the 6 games that they are referring to here. Now there are a few other games that could also be part of this deal as suggested by GameRant. The deal could also be for other Square Enix titles that are already available or will be coming to Xbox One. Balan Wonderworld, which launches tomorrow, and Romancing Saga 3, which launched on Xbox One in late 2019, are 2 of the most recent examples that are not already available on the Xbox One. Suffice to say, there are lots of Square Enix title console exclusives to either PlayStation or Nintendo platforms from over the past 10 years. Now I'm not sure if we will see any of those games. If I have to make a guess, it will probably be 4 older games. I am fairly certain though that we will be seeing Final Fantasy VII Remake. The exclusivity deal with Sony ends in 2 days, and my guess is that we will see the game on Game Pass before the end of April. I cannot prove this, I'm just going off of my own hunch based on the other Final Fantasy games that is already on Game Pass. But let's just quickly move on to a new feature that will be coming to the Xbox Series X, and that is a version of the Edge browser extension. Now I already spoke about the Edge browser on Xbox and how people are using it to play their Steam games on the Xbox Series X. Well, it turns out that there are many more things that you will be able to do when this Edge browser launches launches on the Xbox, and one of those things is play Google Stadia. Now for the life of me, I don't know why you would want to play Google Stadia, but the option is there. Xbox testers who have access to the alpha skip ahead build have been upgraded to the Chromium version of Microsoft Edge on their Xbox consoles, which has allowed players to get Google Stadia up and running on the Xbox Series X. This video was posted by Tom Warren from The Verge, showing Google Stadia indeed running on the Xbox Series X. He loads up Destiny 2 and it looks like it is working fine, though we do not see any gameplay in this short clip. Now the video that they are referring to here is just a video of Tom Warren where he's showing off the new Edge browser, and you can see him load up Google Stadia on Xbox. Now again, I have no clue why you would want to do this when you have Xbox Game Pass and xCloud on the Xbox, both of which is considerably better, not just in games but also in resolution. Stadia sometimes struggles to even get a solid 1080p 60 frames. When they launched, they touted a consistent 4K 60 frames experience. They have completely removed that from their website and just pretend that it doesn't exist anymore. But for me, it's not really about Google Stadia, but the potential of what you can do with this updated Edge extension. It opens the door to experiment with a bunch of services, and it also allows you to explore outside of just Xbox and Microsoft and what they have to offer. One of my biggest fears when it comes to Xbox going digital, meaning they remove the disk drive from the Xbox consoles, is that players will be stuck just with the Microsoft Store. Microsoft giving us this extension allows us to explore Steam and Stadia and many more services. Right now there is just nothing better than Xbox Game Pass when it comes to value, but there might be a time when that changes and it will no longer be a case, and maybe you want to have an option to move over to something different. There might come a time when you no longer want to buy your games on the Microsoft Store. It could be that there is just better prices from the competition, and with Edge you do now have the option to go outside of just Microsoft. But then lastly, let's just quickly talk about the new accessory that will be releasing on Xbox soon. Xbox announced today that Bang & Olufsen is bringing out a new pair of headsets created specifically with the Xbox ecosystem in mind. The Verge says Bang & Olufsen has announced BeoPlay Portal, its first wireless gaming headset. The product maintains the company's signature sophisticated look, and it has more features than your average headset. These were created with the Xbox ecosystem in mind, and with a push of its pairing button they can connect to the Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Xbox One, or to the PC with the wireless Xbox adapter plugged into it. Additionally, they support a concurrent connection via Bluetooth 5.1 for other devices, including other consoles, if you supply a Bluetooth adapter. This way you can take calls without totally detaching from the game audio. Now there is one thing that you need to know about these headsets before I even go into the specs, and that is the fact that they will cost $500, making them just as expensive as an Xbox Series X. Now what do you get for your $500? Well, according to The Verge, this model has adaptive active noise cancellation and a gaming audio mode that automatically activates when connected wirelessly to a console or when wired via USB-C to a PC port, through which the headset also gets its charge. These also have a 3.5mm headphone jack. The Bang & Olufsen app for iOS and Android has some new features that the BeoPlay Portal benefits from, like microphone optimization and a game chat audio balance. The company reports that its own voice feature allows for voice monitoring while keeping out noises thanks to the adaptive ANC. These have 40mm drive with Dolby Atmos support for virtualized surround sound. So these are designed as very high quality, but honestly there is no way I would spend that amount of money on a gaming headset. Granted, if you use them for normal purposes too and not just for gaming, maybe you can get some value out of them, but in my opinion, if you are not the music producer, I would not spend that much money on a gaming headset. Now if you do have the money and like I said you want to use them for multi-purpose, maybe, but I just don't think these are meant for your average daily gamers. Now these gaming headsets can also last for 12 hours per charge when connected through both Bluetooth and Xbox wireless protocol using the active noise cancellation feature. If you are using the Bluetooth and noise cancellation. Bang & Olufsen says that you can expect up to 24 hours of use. Now I have to say these do look good and they definitely sound awesome based on what I've read. Again, if you do have the money and your plan is to use them for things outside of gaming as well, they might be worth considering. But on that note, this is where I'm going to end it. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you would like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing, and as always, please remember to stay safe, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and I hope to see you again soon.